Welcome to VHS Voyage, where we're on a journey to find, watch, and discuss movies on VHS we've never seen or never knew existed. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
Today's episode, we're going to talk about
Baby's Day Out.
So we're going to talk about Baby's Day Out, but before we get into the movie, Devin, hit us with some facts and information.
This is directed by Patrick Reed Johnson. It is written by John Hughes.
What is he known for?
Home Alone, 16 Candles, all the National Lampoon's movies, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
All that stuff. This stars Joe Mantegna. Joe Pantoliano's the dude from like Matrix and all
Matrix.
that. And
Yeah.
Memento.
Yep.
And all that. And Brian Haley's the other Robert. Those are really the only actors I wrote down because I felt like they were kind of the only ones that
Right.
really like served to the story. So this movie had a huge budget, which apparently was kind of unheard of at the time, especially when they said it was unheard of because they were casting like no-name actors for every role, basically.
Yeah.
And with such a huge budget, it was kind of a risk to take. And it didn't pay off because this movie did not make money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I was wondering if it had a huge budget because some of the stuff that was in this movie, I'm like, this shit had to have been expensive.
yeah, I think it was like $50 million. Vern Troyer played some of the baby scenes on the construction site.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah.
Dude, wait. What?
Okay, so some of the construction site scenes,
Yeah.
they had Vern Troyer play the baby. I don't think it was but just that's what I read. I don't know, dude.
Dude, I'm picturing him crawling around like a baby, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, sometimes I read these facts and I'm just like, I'm just gonna write this down. I don't know. So yeah, Vern Troyer apparently plays some of the baby. He's uncredited though. Also, apparently there's I went and watched it after I read this, but there's a famous video of Siskel and Ebert like yelling at each other and arguing about this movie. And apparently it was one of the biggest arguments they ever had.
Really? What were they arguing about?
One liked it and one hated it. But the argument was genuinely hilarious.
That's awesome. I need to look this up later.
Yeah, it was funny.
That's awesome. The best way I think, if I had to explain Baby's Day Out in a short sentence, I would say Looney Tunes meets Home Alone. You got this super rich family, and they have a baby. His name is, I think, Benjamin, but they call him Baby Bink as like a nickname. And the baby's got a nanny and everything. And it opens with the nanny reading a book called Baby's Day Out to the baby. And it's like the baby's favorite book. And it's like this baby that goes on this adventure in a city. This rich family, they want to get professional baby photos done. So they hire a photography company. You got the three bad guys or three goons. They hijack the photography company because they have a scheme that they're going to get in the house by acting like they're these photographers so that they can kidnap the baby and try to get ransom money from this rich ass family. And that's what they do.
There you go.
And then they take the baby to their apartment. They leave a ransom note there at the house, of course. They take the baby to their apartment. This is when you start to really realize how stupid these guys are. They're all three pretty dumb. I mean, the leader, he's not as stupid as the other two, but he's still pretty dumb.
He's like the Joe Pesci type.
Yeah, the Joe Pesci type.
Because these guys are a straight up ripoff of Home Alone.
The baby escapes through a window. And then the rest of the movie is these three bumbling idiots chasing this baby all around the city while they get the shit kicked out of them. Not physically by the baby, but just by having accidents. And well, actually, they actually do get the shit kicked out of them by a woman, though. That does happen.
It's like a ripple effect of the baby's actions that get them hurt.
That's essentially Baby's Day Out. Now, I figure where we could go from here is just talk about some of the scenarios that the baby gets in and how it affects the three bad guys. You want to start with one?
Yeah. Harambe.
Harambe! Dicks out for Harambe.
What?
That's the meme, dude. You don't remember?
Well, I remember like R.I.P. Harambe. But the baby gets in a gorilla enclosure. By the way, this enclosure was just like bars.
Yeah, it was
like,
just bars.
This was a big safety hazard.
Yeah.
But then the gorilla ends up just like beating up all the dudes.
Yeah, the gorilla freaking grabs the main guy and throws him across the room into another cage, and he smashes one dude's hand because they're trying to figure out how to get the baby out of this gorilla enclosure, and this gorilla likes the baby. Yeah, because the gorilla looked real. That looked like a real gorilla. You don't think that was a real gorilla?
No.
You don't think so?
Are you Matt, that literally looked like a man in a costume. What are you talking about?
Dude, I don't know.
You thought that looked real?
Yeah. So let's talk about the initial scene where the baby escapes. So basically, the baby sees a pigeon through the window, and the pigeon is one of the pictures in the book, his favorite book, Baby's Day Out. And that's essentially what's taking this baby on this journey, because he's roaming around this city and he keeps seeing things that match images in his book, like a taxi cab, the zoo, a pigeon, different things like that. And he just follows these things. So he sees a pigeon, he crawls out the window, proceeds to crawl upstairs to the roof. And of course the bad guys see it. The baby crawls across a plank that's connecting two roofs together. Baby gets on the other roof, and the three guys are like, we got to jump across the roof. And of course the main bad guy's nuts are injured, so he can't make that jump. And sure enough, he doesn't make the jump, and he falls, and he actually lands on his nuts again on like an antenna, and then he falls into a trash can in the street.
1 to 2 2 3 3 whoa, whoa, whoa. Eddie!
They finally get the baby back.
Yeah.
And he puts him like in his jacket. Or so he puts him like, he's like hiding him in his jacket. And the baby like sets the man's nuts on fire.
First he hits his nuts.
Yeah, he like
times.
hits him in the nuts, and then he gets a lighter and lights the man's balls on fire. But they're talking to police officers at the same time, so they can't show the police officers that the baby's down there, because they'll realize they're the kidnappers, because everyone in the city's like looking for this baby.
Got a bad heart.
The main bad guy pulls the jacket off. Of course, the baby took off, and his nuts are on fire, and he's trying to put the fire off, and the stupidest dude throws him on the ground and starts just stomping on his nuts over and over, and like... The baby's on a bus, right? And the bad guys are chasing after this bus, and there's this lady on the bus. So she's a larger woman. Okay, she's a little heavy set. She's got a basket. Baby crawls into the basket. They go up to her, and she assaults one of them, just like hits one of them. And so they keep coming after her again. They're trying to figure out how the hell they're going to get this baby, and they're talking behind her as they're following her, like calling her fat and stuff. And she beats the shit out of these guys, dude.
Off the top rope.
Eddie! Get it, Rico! You got it, Rico! You gotta be! You gotta hang in there, Rico! You gotta, baby! Come on!
So they're building like a high rise, because is this movie set in New York City?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they're building like a high rise in New York City, and the baby wanders into this construction site and goes all the way to the top in one of those like elevators you see at a construction site or something.
Yeah.
Not a single human sees him.
No.
Not a single.
No, not a single. They don't even see the bad guys. Dude.
No. But the guys just chase him all the way up this building, and the baby's inches away from falling. Apparently, Vern Troyer.
Yeah.
They had Vern Troyer dress up like a baby
That's
and crawl
amazing.
around.
That's amazing.
It's so messed up at the same time, too.
It is, but it's funny.
What a horrible, horrible thing to do to that poor man.
In real life, some of the injuries they sustained, and they would have been dead.
It's just like Home Alone.
Yeah, just like Home Alone. Yeah, like there's a scene where a freaking hammer falls on a dude's head, and one dude falls on his nuts on like a metal beam, and visually it looked like this baby was actually doing these.
Yeah, they did make it look cool.
Things.
For sure, they made it look cool.
They made it look cool.
It's because they dressed Vern Troyer up like a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
That poor man.
You know, I thought the three bad guys were, I mean, they were entertaining. It wasn't unbearable.
That's my least favorite part of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My thing with the bad guys is I felt no chemistry whatsoever with these actors or these guys. Like that's why I actually think they should. So the note that was in there was like they had a huge budget but didn't cast big actors.
Right.
I think they should have really maybe cast it a little bit better and put some more money into some bigger actors that would have had chemistry.
Robert De Niro, bro, as the main guy.
wrote this.
Is the main bad
It's
guy.
just you're saying that just because he's Italian, but yeah, but like Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern had such good chemistry in Home Alone.
They did.
I felt like they should have just had more chemistry with these three actors, and them just being complete ripoffs of Home Alone. I'm thinking to myself, these guys aren't Joe Pesci and Daniel. They're just not as good.
No.
Also, this movie came out 3 years after Home Alone or something. So I think it felt a little lazy because they were just like, let's capitalize off the huge success of this movie and put this movie out. So it does feel a little lazy. I felt like I was just watching not as good of a version of it.
Dude, they thought it was going to be a success. They were so confident that they teased a sequel at the end of the movie.
Yeah, they did.
Because the baby pulls
Baby
a
goes
book
to
off.
China.
Baby goes to China, dude.
Yeah.
That would have been, man, I don't know how that movie
It would have been
been
so
dude.
racist.
Yeah, probably. What's some things besides what I've mentioned that you like about the movie?
That's probably really all. I really didn't like this movie a lot. I don't even think I would have really liked it as a kid. I don't think it would have been my kind of movie as a kid. I don't know. I didn't sense chemistry. I didn't laugh at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was very funny.
Like, I knew going into this that this was going to be a keeper for me because this is a movie I grew up with. I've always liked this movie, grew up with it when I was a kid, enjoyed it when I was a kid.
Oh, I need Baby Goes to China.
Dude, I wish
It would have
they
been way
made
better
movie.
than this one, dude.
Dude, what about Baby Goes to Russia?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if he goes to Russia and he ends up causing World War III, dude? Like, what if he sneaks into the Kremlin and gets the nuclear launch codes and ends up like accidentally launching a nuclear bomb and causing World War III?